Hi, it's Tina. I promised you we'd go over our gravy recipe from the shepherd's pie, which I also use on potatoes and rice and just about anything. My son said that if I just cover everything in this gravy, he'll eat it, even though he's not a vegan. So I take that as a win, and I really love this gravy, and I think we don't have it often enough. So excuse me. So I thought we will go over that like I promised. Now, this original recipe is from Mary McDougall, and it can be found in this book right here. If you have that book, just look through. And I adjusted a little bit. It calls for 2 cups of veggie broth. That's what you start with. I don't have any right now. I've got it in the Instant Pot making, and I'll have it for Thanksgiving, and on Thanksgiving I'll make it with the veggie broth. Since I don't have veggie broth right now, I'm using water, and I'm just going to add spices to it to give it its flavor, because really veggie broth is just water that is infused with the vegetables. The vegetables are cooked in it. So if I add spices, then I'll get some of that, the nutrients and flavor that I would get from vegetables. So start with your 2 cups of your liquid, whether you use water or veggie broth, that's up to you. And then you want 3 tablespoons of tahini. And this is a healthy fat, but it is a fat. And that's why I don't eat this gravy as often as I would like to. It's just because I'm cutting down on my fat. So it's a treat. It's quite thick, so getting it out of the spoon is a little trying here. Now, one trick that I use to make my tahini not quite as fattening is when I open the jar, there will be oil that's separated up on top of the actual product. And I just pour that oil out. And it makes my tahini a little thicker, but it also makes it to where it's not quite as fattening. And when we're on a weight loss program, that's important. Then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of either liquid aminos, soy sauce, tamari, whatever you use. 3 tablespoons. Now, like I said, I didn't have the veggie broth, so I'm going to add spices. And this is where my recipe differs from the original. So I'm going to add some Italian seasoning, some onion powder, about a tablespoon of each one, this is a new one, so I'm going to have to open it. I turned this up because I didn't want the video to be too long, so it's already starting to boil. And you can do that with yours too if you're in a hurry, like I always am. Now I'm going to turn it down to about medium. Now, this is your thickener, rice flour. And all I did was take regular brown rice, put it through my Vitamix, and grind it up. You can use a blender or a NutriBullet, whatever you want. 1/4 cup. And then just use a whisk. Make sure you get all the lumps out. And it'll thicken right up. Now, because I'm giving my husband leftover shepherd's pie, I was worried that reheating it in the oven, it would be a little dry. So I'm making some extra gravy to just pour over the top. Then I don't have to worry about his shepherd's pie being too dry and leftovers. Not that he would ever complain about shepherd's pie. I don't think I could do anything that would mess that up. And then just keep stirring with your whisk until it's nice and thick. Now for Thanksgiving, I'm making this gravy. And then I'm just cooking potatoes in the Instant Pot. Some white potatoes, the ones that have the real thin skin. And then I slice them in half and I pour this gravy over the top. And we have that for dinner every once in a while. And I thought that would be a nice addition to my Thanksgiving holiday meal. Now normally I would start with my liquid cool and it would take a lot longer for this to heat up. But when I turned the camera on, I had my water in the pan already warming, so it didn't take quite as long. It'll take you a little bit longer, and that's fine. Now it's going to thicken up as it cooks, just like any gravy would. And you truly cannot tell that this doesn't have salt or oil in it. It's just as good as any of my grandma's gravy where she used regular white flour and bacon grease, really. And if you like any other spices, add those into it. Depending on your culture, your taste buds, there may be something else that you want to add. You could add curry powder and give it a nice curry flavor and put it over rice with some vegetables, and you've got yourself a meal there. And there we have it. It's still a little thin. I'm not going to make you wait and watch for it to thicken up. You have a good day.